left. And with a hand to his mouth, that's Kurt Russell. And Sylvester Stallone, who is here in most of these games. Didn't Russell and Stallone just finish up a movie, Tom? Were you involved?
No, I wasn't, but I wish I could have had the Rocky music in between periods for the guys to get them going.
Well, they got one on the board and trying to fight their way back into this hockey game. First of a series of 21 games, 4 Soviet teams coming over here. Khimik completes their 6-game swing by the 14th of December, I believe it is. Then the Soviet Wings arrive in North America to begin their series. Their first game is December 26th against the New York Islanders. Red Army will be over as well. Speaking, handling the puck in the center ice zone.
Something the Soviets will do here, Jigs. They'll regroup. They don't like what they see at the offensive line. They'll go back and start again. They don't do it as much as they used to. They start dumping the puck in, do a little more chasing, forechecking now. That's something they've taken away from the North American game, and that's helped their game, actually.
Yeah,
just give you a little different style of game.
That's true, Herbie. I've seen them probably dump the puck in more in the last little while than I have probably in the past few years, in the sense that if they don't have the plays, instead of trying to regroup as much as they do dump the puck in.
Talk to us a little, Tom, if you will, about this young man, Todd Ellick.
Todd Ellick has had an outstanding year through all of the troubled times that they've had down in New Haven. He's been able to take upon the leadership role, stay with it, provide that hockey club with the offensive powers that they need to stay in contention in New Haven. He's played extremely well, according to Marcel Como, and here he is tonight, give him an opportunity to do a little bit up here. 17
goals, 23 assists, #1 scorer in the American Hockey League right now, playing at New Haven. This is Nico McElroy. He has the only goal for the Kings. Takes it back to the net and telling the wraparound, and it's blocked at the defense. Khimik into the center ice zone. McElroy took his man down, and there's going to be a penalty. Los Angeles will be a man short. They're trailing in this hockey game by a score of 3-1, and we'll be back right after this message. 14:59 of the second period.
Well, we talked about the exchange, the different styles of play, the more similarities and contrasts today. The Soviets, they played 61 games since 1976, and there's been a lot of exchanges. And you'll see the Soviets now will use their body a little bit more. And, of course, you know, Nico McElroy, you don't like to take that type of penalty in the neutral zone when there's a long way to go yet, but he's keeping his legs moving. But, again, with McElroy, I think the thing is, Tom, what you just mentioned here, he's involved. He's trying to do something. You can forgive some of those things like that, even though maybe it wasn't the best spot on the ice for it.
Now that good wrist shot. Soviets with the man advantage here. Titov puts it back to the net. Can't get it to the blue line. Allison got it to the left side. The puck cleared out into the center ice zone by Lindholm. Lindholm and Allison killing it off with McSorley and Beck. This is Smirnoff, the captain of the Khimik team. Playing it into the center ice zone. Talapuka checking the blue line. Head bobbing and waving. Kings stand up, take the blue line away from them. First man back is Smirnoff.
I'd like to do is stretch that zone. You'll see a guy way at that offensive blue line just standing there trying to bring the defenseman back and open up a little gap. So again, it's that checker type of game, but Gretzky plays that all the time, and you'll find the LA people mirroring him in practice and throughout the game to use that full ice. The width and the depth of it is very important, and the Soviets do it very well.
Soviets moving in here with the man advantage. 4 minutes remaining in the second period. And the wraparound fails to work. Krutov right in front of the net. Now the Kings have cleared the zone. Tom Webster, your team here playing in this division where you've got people like Makarov, Krutov, Barrier now playing regularly now. What do you think of the impact the Soviets have had in the league and especially in the division?
Well, I think they're doing extremely well in the sense that they're certainly making a big cultural adjustment in the North American style of play, but I really feel that eventually, given the time that they've needed, that they will help improve the hockey league just simply by their talents. The hockey clubs have made some big investments in them simply because they are good quality players. and you're going to get that kind of player on the ice, it makes the other team a little more aware of the skill levels that they're going to be throwing at you.
James, the number that we read coming out of Vancouver, correct me if I'm wrong, Krutov was the one they're talking about because he's in the doghouse a little bit for Bobby McCammon. He's struggling for whatever reason. We're not there. We don't know. So I'm going to qualify for that again. But he is struggling. And there's a big investment, as Tom just mentioned. Investment to the extent was Krutov getting like $350,000, $400,000, and the same amounts have to go to the Russian Ice Hockey Federation. So, and those are yearly sums over 3 years. So it is a big investment. It's a major undertaking, and there's going to be that, as Tom said, a cultural adjustment here. And before you pass judgment after the first quarter, we'll see what happens after the last half. And I guess that's what, the real proof will be.
Teams at 6 aside again, 3-1. Khimik leading Los Angeles. 18 Soviet players were drafted. The entry draft this past June. See the Soviets setting up in center ice. The forechecking job by Krushelnyski here, and he's bothered as he goes in. Hooked from behind by Yashkin. Krushelnyski hangs right with the puck. What a job he's done here. Makela with them. The team comes up with it. Managed to clear it into center ice.
Jake said 18 drafted last year, 11 and 88, and from 1975 through 1987, those 12 years, only 17 were drafted.
And here's a breakaway for the Khimik team. Beacon moved in. Good stop. 2 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. The crowd getting into it now. They haven't had a great deal to cheer about. Their team got down 2-0 in the first period, trailed 3-0 before Makela scored. Now the Kings have just iced it and are trying to get back on this 3-1 deficit. Well, we'll show you here what happened on that breakaway, what set it up.
Well, Brian Benning, he's got to use those legs, and Tom Webster wants his defenseman involved, but someone's got to fill in that situation, and nobody filled for him. And that was a great save by Goss, and you notice he was out, came back, he made a great pad save. So, again, when a defense is on the rush, you're playing a little give and go. One of the forwards has to read that thing and fill in, and the defenseman, again, if it's heavily traffic there, maybe better bury it.
Smirnov just drilled one off the left point. That's 27 shots on goal now for the visitors. Khimik. Barry Beck moves the puck to the left side. Out at center ice. Sorley. Crowder. Jay Miller. It's into the corner. Miller feeds the blue line for Beck. Dumps it in a little deeper. There's Crowder. Cunningham right on him, and they put a play stoppage here with 1 minute and 24 seconds remaining. Jay Miller turned, said something to his Soviet counterpart, but the penalty appears to be against Crowder.
Well, it's tough to play catch-up against the Russians in the penalty box. And, you look at the time, the last minute and a half, get a penalty like that, and all of a sudden they score, and it's going to make a tough game. Even tougher. Crowder a little frustrated there, just reached up, got his fist in his face, and Willie McRae right on it. And again, it's the timing of the thing, Tom, and that's something you talk about. Pick your spots if you're going to get something like that. Not at the start, not at the finish of a period.
Well, that's one thing that Keith Crowder does well is goes in and grinds out. And as a result, he takes those kind of penalties, those hard-working penalties. But unfortunately, the time is of importance. We're back into the hockey game with under 2 minutes, and it's important that we stay on the ice to try and take advantage of the odd offensive chance.
Not only the minor penalty, he gets a 10-minute misconduct along with it. 1 minute, 24 seconds remaining in the second period. Jay Miller is leaving the ice. You look at Titov.
A guy like Keith Crowder, though, is one of the players that I really enjoy coaching. Those kind that come to work every day, day in and day out, and practice in a hockey game. He gives you everything that you want. And he's the kind of guy that lifts your hockey club when you're into those dull times. So a guy like Pinelli and Casper that you alluded to those hard-working lines that pick up your whole club.
At the time, you had a little slump there, and it was sort of tied in with Pete Crowder's injury, and he wasn't back. As soon as you got back in the lineup, you found that lineup that you want to start picking up. Now, Pete hasn't scored this year, but he's doing all the other things that you've described, and there was a real noticeable difference when he was out of the lineup with that injury.
Yeah, absolutely, Herbie. You know, he gave us that life, and then Mike Voskresensk also coming back into the lineup seemed to give us that balance that we needed with the three lines, that little chemistry that they needed together to start making things happen offensively.
Soviets with 1 minute and 14 seconds left in the power play. 35 seconds, all that's remaining. Period number 2. Teams have shared goals, one each side. Khimik leading by a score of 3-1. Los Angeles Kings move out with a pass that jumped over Robitaille's stick. Viekov out of the net, cleared it, and Ross Nichols interfered from the Khimik goal mouth.
Well, they can score shorthand, and they've done it quite well this year, and they've done it last year. They got the players that can do it, and Robitaille almost had that semi-breakaway there. And the guy that was out of sight, and if Robitaille would have had it, Bernie Nichols was all alone going home.
Now each team with a goal. That's the end of the second period. Tom Webster, the coach of the Los Angeles Kings, joining us. Your thoughts now with down 3-1. They're certainly not out of it, but the home crowd not too pleased with what they've seen either.
Well, it seemed like, again, Jigs, once they went up 3-0, we got ourselves a little mad and upset, and we started taking the play to them, and as a result, Makla scoring a goal seemed to give us more life. We had some opportunities simply by driving to the net. We've got to do that. We've got to maybe not try to look for that cute play that we want. We've just got to try and get some pucks on net, see if we can get one of those good lucky bounces that'll go into that. At the same time, it'll start generating something for us offensively.
Well, I saw the Soviets score in the first two periods. Their 2 goals in the first period, that bouncing puck in the deflection.
Now we know you want to get downstairs and talk with your team. Tom, thanks for joining us. Good luck to your club, and we look forward to a lot of action with the Kings on Sports Channel over the balance of the season.
Thanks, Jigs. Thanks, Rick.
We're going to pause now for a regional break. You're watching Khimik in the Soviet Elite League and the Los Angeles Kings on Sports Channel.
It's a matchup between 3 tall flame-throwing robots.
Don't be fooled by imitations. Monsters of Rock and Roar is not available in stores. Hurry, order now.
Call now, 1-800-238-3100.
3-1, Khimik leading the Los Angeles Kings. I'm Jakes McDonald with Herb Brooks at the Great Western Forum, getting ready for the third period. Like a football huddle behind that Khimik goal, and now over at the penalty box, Keith Crowder picked up a roughing penalty and then a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Jay Miller serving the minor penalty, and Crowder will be there for all but half of the third period.
Jake, so it's good to have Tom Webster up here between, during the second period, some of his thoughts and observations. He's a little frustrated up here. I think the coaches at time like to get up and see the things evolve from a little different perspective behind the bench, but when you're up here, you're not involved too much either, and it's an awful frustrating thing when you're working with that club day in and day out.
Yeah, you don't like to see bad things begin to develop. Bad habits, I guess, is what I'm saying, because they have a tendency to carry through.
But coaches rely on that on the videotape so much, Jigs, and the viewpoint from the bench is not really conducive to seeing things unfold. And if you look at what they do in football and how they use upstairs in the spotters and the assistant coaches, it's just good to get away from the bench and take it a little different look.
Mike Allison leveled his man. He's slow to get up. That's Titov. Just now recovering his stick, and the Soviets, Eltukin drops the puck back into his own zone. Smirnov with it at center. Expected Yakov to be out tonight to see what I'm sure is a relative play in this game.
Takes that the Soviet came off holding his hand. He got really hit, but Titov, Mike Allison came off right away also. He got his bell rung in that situation. That was a major collision in that thing, and that's a good way to start the second period for Los Angeles, because they've got to get involved. There's nothing like getting involved sometimes. It's just a big hit, and all of a sudden the Soviet player, you better look up in this league. You start reaching for a puck and you're going to get hit. And he got it. And his shoulder went down. He could possibly get a separation or whatever. Titov is a 24-year-old center iceman. That is one of their top center icemen, making them ill afford to lose him.
Khimik leading by a score of 3-1. Puck dumped in. Backboard is Steve Duchesne. Duchesne pulled away from Klasnikov. Moves it up the left wing boards and center ice. Reaches Robitaille. Now Fraser turns it over. Soviets failed to penetrate at the Los Angeles blue line. Fraser had trouble with the puck. Good pass here. Quick shot. Skate save by Gosselin. Then the rebound comes through in front of us, cleared by the defenseman Duchesne. Set it up at the blue line. The pass going to Malgin. Malgin trying to go back in the net. Fraser knocks him down. Play allowed to continue. Robitaille with it now. Plays it through Duchesne and off the left wing boards at center ice. Kings pick up the loose puck. Robitaille comes over the line and poke checked away neatly. Soviets dump it down into the Los Angeles end. Gosselin giving it to Waters. He tries the left side. Quickly the forechecking pays off. Centered one, but nobody there for the Soviets. Heading up the middle to Robitaille. Down to Nichols. Nichols look toward Robitaille. Cruise to right wing. Shot one high and wide of the net. Bouncing back to Tim Waters. With Robitaille. Robitaille's pass is blocked and then cleared out of the zone by Malgin. Waters with help from Benning. Kings able to clear it right back into their zone. Waters with it now. Center ice. Vucevic. Check. Robitaille comes up to his field the puck. Plays it into the Khimik zone. Quickly, it's moved right back out again. 45 seconds into the third period. Icing waved off. Khimik in the middle of the player change. Everybody leaves at once. The Kings unable to make the transition cleanly at center ice.
Heard LA tonight, they've got a couple of ships there. They went too fast at Jigs. It almost cost him, and that was another one there. But both teams didn't have anybody on the ice. I'd like to say we're going to change, make sure that someone's out there, just a little safety valve, then he can sneak up at the right time.
Another hit at center. This time it's McSorley going down. Eddie McSorley got the full force of the check from Adar Rakapatula. Something like that. How did you pronounce it earlier, Herb?
Just like you, Jigs. Rakapatula, that's how I said it. But anyway, Marty got his bell rung.
Did he ever? Sorley takes his man in heavily.
Well, you know, a guy like Marty, you know, some people, all of a sudden the Soviets come over or the Europeans come over and other people start running them. But Marty McSorley runs anybody, so you don't, if he's going to hit somebody, he'll hit it to you in the National Hockey League or Soviet or Swede or Finn or whatever. It makes no difference to him.
Body work there. Now Jay Miller moves the puck to Makula. A moment ago, Makula had an opportunity cutting it off left wing.
Pretty good steer Jigs in the last maybe 15 minutes of this game.
Alapukin with the puck. Past the line. Wraparound passes. Back up here. Chenko in the center one. And Allison moves it out to Los Angeles. Gretzky with a towel around his neck. Hasn't had a shift in the third period as Alapukin now tries to move in. Off the pads across them. He gives it to Lindholm. Check back in the net. Duchesne turns it over. And shot from the point off the stick and up into the seats. Kings continue to trail 3-1. We'll be back in just a moment.
McSorley, he likes to like the puck. As I said, his game is growing all the time, and he's handling the puck right here. He's just trying to fight off a little check. And Rackfield stepped in and really drilled Marty. And all of a sudden, this is kind of funny thing here. I don't know how Lindholm just said, "Whoa, wait a minute." I don't know how this goose drive that was. It's low pressure. He was saying, I wish we had a mic on him when he was doing that. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Yeah. A little difference between a Soviet player and a Swedish player, I guess.
Okay. Keep in mind it is an exhibition game as the 4 Soviet teams come to visit. All 21 National Hockey League teams playing a game against the Soviets this year. Newsback trying to cut in, wrapped up at the defense.
Should also point out that Wayne Gretzky's not seeing any ice time right now. He's just going to play in the power play and maybe kill the odd penalty. And he gets so much ice during the regular season that it just these are the nights where he's got to rest a little bit.
Newsback knocked down at the blue line. James forced back into their own zone. Henning bounced the net with him. Ripped away from him. He's able to recover. Makes the man, and Newsback takes the puck. Dumps it in off the boards. That's Opportunity being set up by Robitaille, but he couldn't get to Nichols in time. Over the center ice zone. Beacon with a shot. They score! Beacon dropping it back, and the Soviets make it 4-1. The goal coming at the 5:47 mark.
Well, there's a patent Russians play. They like to drop pass. They like to shoot off a pass, and boy, that was the case in point. If you notice on this drop pass, he didn't pass the puck. That puck just stops. He just dropped that thing. He got a little help there, of course, also. When the LA defenseman, Duchesne, maybe touched it and helped him out, but he drilled that thing. That was a big league shot. Obviously, Rashmikin just one-timed that thing, and Goslin didn't see that thing at all. He got screened by the Russian forward, Soviet forward, going towards the net a little bit. High to the short side. Well, goalies like to get out and cut those angles as much as possible, but that puck had eyes.
Dmitry Fortmanov gets the goal. Rashmikin had an amazing drop pass. Rashmikin, 28 years of age now. There was a time about 5 years ago that Rashmikin was considered to be a top prospect, top young prospect in Soviet hockey. He started his career with the Central Red Army team. He had a bouts with the bottles, drinking problems, and Tikhonov didn't take kindly to him. Sat out most of last year. He was transferred to the Khimik team. The coach, Vladimir Vasiliev, got his lifestyle turned around and got a pretty good hockey player out of it. The Soviets come to center ice, leading 4-1. Matulin moving in off the right side. His shot turned aside. Back got to him. Sorley got to the puck. Checkman to play. And the Kings. Alex giving it to Makula. He's back from the center ice zone. The Soviets up the slot. Back turned aside by Goslin. Big team all over the Kings. Los Angeles zone right now. A little less than 13 minutes to play, and Benning takes it back to the net. And Benning will pass onto the stick of Lindholm. He's across the blue line with Makula. Pass to Makula to Lindholm. He shoots. Big save. Rimieka coming up with a big save again. Lindholm puts it out of the corner. It's grabbed, tied up on the play. Fans are yelling. The player being held. Separate. Miller moved it in toward the corner. Here's Lindholm at the side of the net. And the drive went wide as Miller came right up the slot for the Kings. Miller gets tripped up. Play allowed to continue. Lindholm had it, lost it. This Khimik team is content to clear the zone. Icing waved off. Both teams in the middle of player changes. 12 minutes to go in the third period. Khimik leading 4-1 as Bukestad takes the pass, steps over the line, drills one right on. Yakov making sure there is no rebound. Well, the Kings are down by 3, and the local folks aren't happy.
Attention Monster Maniacs. The United States Hot Rod Association blasts into your living room with their new home video, Monsters of Rock and Roar. It's electrifying mega motor action like you've never seen before. See mudbog track racing, monster truck battles, Bigfoot versus Barefoot, funny car tug-of-wars, and more. Meet Borean, the jet dragster that turns into a 2-story tall flame-throwing robot.
Don't be fooled by imitations. Monsters of Rock and Roar is not available in stores. Hurry, order now.
Call now 1-800-238-3100.
Dmitry Fortmanov with the goal at the 5:47 mark. Both brothers, Andre scoring in the second period, now Dmitry here in the third. This one, a goal by Dmitry. He's regarded as the up-and-coming star of this team. He's closest to the star status on this club.
Jigs, he had a great year last year, 9th overall in the Soviet National Hockey League in scoring. 32 points, won by Makarov. Won it with 54 points. Of course, we know what he's doing in Calgary right now.
An opportunity to see this young man last spring when he watched the World Championships. Made his first appearance. Robitaille to Nichols. He had to turn back as Bukestad was ahead of him at the blue line. Nichols feeds it to the left side. Fraser gets to the puck. Give it back to Bertie Nichols. Bukestad trying to move in on the boards. Nothing doing there. Got a Vulcan at center ice. It's up with Fraser. Robitaille took the man, and out of the net is Goslin. He gets checked. Goslin comes back, throwing a fist into the face of the 54 seconds remaining in the third period as we pause now for a regional break. The game against Los Angeles, and this one is going against the goalkeeper, Mario Gosselin.
Yeah, Mario, a little frustrated, trying to stop the puck behind, and then he felt he was taken in there somewhat, and he tried to give a thing going. He just gave him a good elbow right there. It was an unnecessary call by move by Mario. It's tough enough to play goal in the National Hockey League or any other league without venting it like that. You're going to get your penalties at time, no question, but right now I think there's a little frustration setting in for Los Angeles.
Shevchenko going back to the net, and Gosselin met him there. So, Khimik with a man advantage, leading by a score of 4-1. Krukov in front of the net, nobody paying any attention to him, and then LA Kings able to clear the puck down the ice. And back to it. And he comes. Pass into the Los Angeles zone. Romanov, Dietrich for Romanov, playing it back to the blue line. Give it right back to him. Dietrich, the younger of the two brothers, moves it in deep. Again, put it in front, a bouncing puck control now by the Soviets, and Gosselin out to make the save on Smirnov. Smirnov in deep. And he comes in to join the play, much like Fetisov used to do with Central Red Army.
I think the Russians have seen the likes of Barry Beck and Marty McSorley in front of the net. 225, 230. What's you call them? Quarter pounders?
The first time that this Khimik team has been to North America. Their first visit here. Off the right foot tonight with a 4-1 lead. And advantage for the next 35 seconds. Krukov playing it along the boards here from off the skate and bounced right to Krushelnyski. Play into Allison, steps over the line, but so did Krushelnyski, and that put the play offside. 23 seconds remaining in the Soviet power play.
It's one of the trademarks of the Soviets, their ability to use their feet. There's been so many times tonight the passes have maybe been in their feet or almost by design. How they'll kick it, they don't even miss a stride. Kick it right onto the stick and keep on going. It's amazing how they use their feet to control that puck.
Used to be when they'd come to North America, a lot of their practices were conducted without sticks, like watching soccer on ice. Watch one of their workouts. I think that's something that is carried over. It's inherent in most of the European players, the way they handle the puck in the skates, isn't it, Kurt?
Yes, there's no question about it. These things are, as you said, they're done by design. They're practiced. It just doesn't happen. I don't think we practice that enough in North America.
Oh, well, they just blew one by